I literally hate everything. I cannot tell you how many times today in the past 10 minutes I have just been talking to myself. Technology, bad. Very bad. Okay. First, I thought that OBS, when you started it up and you start streaming, it's like, oh, you're just streaming. And then it says go live inside of OBS. So that's what I did. I went live. And then I see myself in the YouTube studio and I'm like, perfect. And it says preview. And I'm like, that's new. No, it's not new. You have to then press go live in the YouTube studio. I love that they gave me grace. I just need somebody to tell me what to do because I am not smart. Hi, Madel. Hi, Lisa. So here's what I'm going to talk to you guys about right now. I did change the thumbnail and I did change the subject. Let me tell you why. I broke down the OJ documentary into 4 parts. Do I think that it needed 4 parts after I got all of them? Hi, Lil B. Do I think that it needed 4 parts after I did all of them? No, I did not. Do I think that I could get my point across without repeating myself in a more concise manner without losing detail? Yes, I do. So that's going to be the goal. I asked everybody today if they care about series and stuff like that. Nobody cares if it's 1 video or if it's 2 videos. The problem is with the OJ one, I feel like in a lot of the videos, I repeated myself and I stretched it out and we're doing live streams and we're talking about OJ. And somebody had commented on my channel and they're like, hey, listen, really love your channel. Also, can we talk about something other than OJ? And I'm like, I hear you because I am also tired of talking about OJ. Now, what I did, because I have watched the Gabby Petito documentary, was I changed the thumbnail to today and, maybe we'll do the Gabby Petito body cam. Hi. Unless you guys are cool with watching the OJ deposition, I will do whatever you guys want to do. I do not want to burn you guys out. I am happy to watch OJ footage and court trials all day long. But if you guys want to watch something else, I'm also happy to do that too. So you guys just let me know and I will set it up. As I'm setting it up right now, you guys just let me know. Do you want to watch OJ? Do you want to watch Gabby Petito? I can fix my thumbnails and descriptions later or as we're watching. Not a big deal. You guys you tell me what you want to do, what you would prefer to do. I did have it planned for OJ. I know that's why people showed up, but also I know that people are getting tired of OJ because agreed, I am also getting tired of talking about it. You can just talk and we will be here. And I'm good with anything. Okay. I know Lisa said that you wanted to see you said I thought we were doing OJ. Hi Topher, how are you? Welcome in. Okay, let's do OJ then. We do what the chat wants today. Not always, but today. Okay, so I'm going to look for OJ deposition. And then we'll also get into, trust me, I have a lot of Gabby Petito content coming. When I tell you that documentary made me rage in my seat. Okay, so let's go to OJ deposition in the civil trial here. Oh,
swear the witness.
Whoa. Let me get set up and let's get started. All right. OJ for the win. Got it. Live stream with screen. There we go. OJ could not look more annoyed. I added the link. Thank you, Mr. Pike. Hello, El Jack God. You need one of these though. Like, what do you need? One of those. I don't know why you needed the Mario death, but that's what you get. Let's see. One day I'll learn how to use this.
I'll check out.
Okay, we're gonna watch OJ.
Would you raise your right hand, please?
Raise your right hand,
Do you
OJ.
swear that the testimony you shall give in this deposition will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Simpson. My name is Daniel Petruccelli. I represent plaintiff Frederick Goldman in this lawsuit against you. You understand that you are under
love
oath?
it.
Yes.
You may have to speak up so that the folks down at the end of the table can hear you. Have you ever testified under oath before?
Yes.
Why did you have to think about that?
Even though you're in our law office today,
Sorry, I gotta
the
get comfortable.
testimony that you give Under oath here is subject to the same penalty of perjury as though you were testifying in a court of law?
Yes.
Okay. How many times have you testified under oath before?
Oh, wait. That's right. I guess, okay, I'll give him a little grace because I was like, why did you have to think about that? He didn't testify in his trial. He did not testify, which was such a great move by Cochran because once you guys see some of this stuff, oof.
I'm not sure, but I'd say 3 or 4 times.
Have you ever given a deposition before?
Yes.
How many times?
I believe twice.
All before
Lisa!
the death
Thank
of
you.
Nicole and the death of Ron Goldman?
Lisa, if you join members, you can be a part of our
And
Discord.
during those 2 times that you gave depositions, you understood you were under oath?
Yes.
And did you tell the truth in those depositions?
Yes.
Did you say anything untrue?
I don't believe so, no.
You told the truth, right?
That's
That's
what I knew
enough.
it.
Okay.
That's enough.
And
That's enough. Did you tell the truth or
testified at
not?
Trial?
Yes.
When?
Late 60s, early 70s.
What kind of case was it?
One, I believe, was a criminal case, and one was a lawsuit.
Hey, did they involve you?
No.
You were just a witness?
Yes.
And you told the truth in those criminal cases?
Best I knew it.
Tell me who the parties were.
I'm going to object, instruct him not to answer. It's irrelevant and immaterial.
What I'd like to do is get a copy of the transcript of his testimony.
It's irrelevant and immaterial. Instruct him not to answer.
Now, is this the first time you're testifying under oath since the death of Nicole and the death of Ron Goldman?
Yes.
Shawnee, when I tell you I will cover the shit out of Ruby Frankie, she is on my list. Just so you're aware. Fuck Ruby Frankie.
So you've never been questioned under oath about the events surrounding Ron and Nicole's death, is that right?
That's been asked and answered. Instruct him not to answer the question.
What are you going to let
When
OJ
you,
answer?
gave an interview to Ross Becker recently. You were not under oath, correct?
Correct.
Did you tell the truth?
Best that I knew it, yes.
Would you have said anything differently if you were under oath?
That's argumentative. Don't answer that question.
You instructing him?
Yes?
Can we have a stipulation that if you instruct him not to answer, that he will abide by your instructions?
Yes.
Thank you. Hey.
Nobody does, Al Jakad.
Did you...
Nobody.
You spoke in other elements of that video besides the Becker interview, correct?
Correct.
And did you tell the truth during the other times that you spoke on the video?
Best that I knew it, yes.
Okay. And would you have said anything differently if you were under oath?
I don't think so.
Now, you recall giving a statement to the Los Angeles Police Department on June 13?
Yes.
Okay. Were you under oath?
I don't believe so.
Did you tell the truth?
Best as I can remember it
Would
at
you
the
have
time,
said the
yes.
same things?
Well, just a minute.
I'm
Just
sorry.
say yes.
Let him finish
You're-
his answer.
I apologize, Mr. Baker.
Go ahead and finish your answer.
As best as I could at that time, yes.
Yeah. Would
Okay.
you have said anything differently at the time if you were under oath?
At the time, no.
Okay.
If you told the truth. Yeah, I'm going to get into Ruby Frankie. Another one is Micah Stauffer. We'll be talking about that one as
I'd
well.
like to talk a little bit about preparing for the giving of testimony.
All right,
You
let's fast
recently
forward some of this.
participated in this making of a video that is going to be released soon, correct?
Yes.
And you talked in that video about the events and circumstances of Ron and Nicole's deaths, correct?
Oh.
I answered the questions that were asked me.
Okay. But the subject matter of that video was your side of the story with respect to the deaths of Ron and Nicole.
Well, I'm going to object. That's a characterization that you're making.
You may answer.
I answered the questions that were asked me, basically, yes.
But it was about the deaths of Ron and Nicole, generally speaking, right?
Yes.
Okay. Is that the only time that you have...
Oh, Micah's going to get it,
videotape
Lisa.
machines and tape recorders recording what you were saying, right?
Yes.
Now, is that the only time that you have been recorded discussing the facts and circumstances surrounding Ron and Nicole's deaths?
Don't answer that question unless you exclude anything that was done vis-a-vis your attorneys. And any questions that he puts to you, I don't want you to answer and include anything that was done with your attorneys.
Well,
Okay?
I would like to know if he is excluding anything.
He is going to exclude everything that was done with and through and by his attorneys.
But all I'm saying, Mr. Baker, is that so that we know whether or not there is a relevant contact with an attorney where we might want to attack the assertion of the attorney-client privilege.
So I guess what I don't understand in the difference between in a criminal trial and in a civil trial. Thank you, El Jacad. That lawyer is lawyering the hell out of it. But here's my thing. Why? I guess I need to ask the question of okay, so that's what we're going to find out right now. I want to know if a testimony is different than a deposition, and how is a testimony different than a deposition? Sound it out. Okay. A testimony and a deposition are different, though they are related in legal proceedings. Testimony is when witness gives statements under oath in a trial or court hearing. It happens in front of a judge and jury if present, and the witness is questioned by attorneys from both sides. A deposition is an out-of-court sworn statement taken before a trial, usually in an attorney's office. It's part of the discovery process where attorneys gather information. A court reporter records the deposition, and the witness's statements can be used later in court. So, but here's where if he was on the stand inside of a courtroom, inside of a criminal trial, he would not be able to have his lawyer there, would he? His lawyer would be Johnny Cochran, and he wouldn't be like, you can't answer that. You can't choose what you can be like, I plead the fifth or whatever. I'm not answering that, but you can't well, I guess Mark Furman had his private lawyer up there while he was answering his questions. Huh. Interesting. Hearing them, is it because I'm talking over them? I have a son. Yeah, not with that. Yeah, Ruby Frankie's a monster. This man was in a money protected bubble before and after. Absolutely. The best part is when he sees the photos. Yeah, with the shoes on. The ugly ass shoes. Jumpin' Jeff. Yeah. Those ugly ass shoes, he says. Yeah, the lawyer can object. But
The basic foundational facts. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I understand what you're saying.
do you want me to turn?
I'm
I'll
not
turn it all the
saying
way up.
that. We are not going to allow you to inquire
As much as I can.
he did with his attorneys, whether he was taped, videotaped, or anything else.
Well, I'm going to inquire into that. And I haven't asked so far about any communications. I've simply asked for the mere existence of such recordings, if they do exist.
And I'm going to instruct him not to answer that, and you can certify it, and we can argue that point with the court.
Let me get back to my question. Other than this recent video, have you ever been recorded on videotape or audio tape discussing facts and circumstances and events surrounding the deaths of Ron and Nicole?
And I want you to answer that other than anything you did with your attorneys.
Other than anything that I did with my attorney.
I don't understand what he's allowed to answer and what he's not allowed to answer.
And what about with respect to things you did with...
Oh, I can tell you, Madel, through this whole thing, he looks bored and annoyed. For sure. Bored and annoyed. Right. Thank you. He's just so above being asked such questions.
your attorneys?
Could you be more vague?
No.
I don't know what the question is.
The question is, have you
You
ever
don't know what the question is because you won't let him get one out.
Or any tapings in which you discussed the events and circumstances surrounding Ron and Nicole's deaths?
Okay.
With
Are there any events in which you discussed Ron and Nicole's deaths on tape? Why would they be asking you that? Probably because they have you talking about Ron and Nicole's deaths on tape. Just let them ask the question. Let them ask the question. What other fun buttons do I have on here? I have crickets. That's what I have. Because that's what's going on in my brain.
In the presence of your attorneys.
And I instruct him not to answer that question.
What attorneys were present during such tapings?
And I instruct him not to answer that question.
Oh,
Did you prepare for...
I want to make that a sound. I could put that in my soundboard. So if anybody comes in here, I could be like, I instruct him not to answer that question.
ability of testifying at your criminal trial?
When you say, I don't understand when you say prepare.
Were you tape recorded or videotaped?
Same objection if you were there with your attorneys and it was pursuant to the instruction of your attorneys. I don't want you to answer that question.
Did a lawyer named
Sure.
Christina R. Geddes
I understand that completely.
subject you to a practice or mock cross-examination?
Don't answer that question. I instruct him not to answer that
And what's the grounds of these objections?
I think it's pretty evident.
It's not to me, and I just
Well,
would like the record to be
It's
clear.
attorney-client privilege and attorney work product privilege.
Okay.
That is true.
Is Christina R. Geddes an attorney that has ever worked for you in the past 2 years?
I don't know.
Do you know even,
The name really doesn't mean anything.
doesn't mean
to me.
anything to you?
No.
And did such a person, do you know whether such a person subjected you to a practice or mock cross-examination?
Oh my God, just move
Instruct him not to answer
on.
again. That's based on attorney work product and attorney-client privilege.
Have you ever been cross-examined about the facts and circumstances of the deaths of Ron and Nicole by a person who you did not know?
If you did not know and you did not know they were an attorney, you can answer that question.
I'm sorry, I'm a little lost here.
In other words, I'm trying to find out
Right.
if anybody ever subjected you to a cross-examination when the person was not acting as your
Exactly. Just move on from this question.
Again,
attorney. Video that just happened. Can you answer that yes or no, please?
that assumes that an attorney that was hired through another attorney of his may or may not be his attorney, and I'm not going to allow him to answer that question.
Same grounds,
Same
attorney-client work product objections?
Yes.
Okay. You took notes during the criminal trial?
Yeah, at times.
Where are those notes?
I don't know.
What did you do with them?
What is it?
I have absolutely no idea.
Who'd you give them to?
I don't know when I packed up. I don't know.
You don't know what you did with them?
Now, mind you, and that might be legit because this is 1996 and the verdict was 1994? 1995? When, hold on. I can't remember. When was OJ found not guilty? 1995. Okay, so this whole deposition is this way? Oh my God.
At the end of each day, did you have a routine where you gave your notes to somebody or saved them in some way?
No.
Did you take them back with you to the jail cell?
Yes.
And when you left, when you were released, did you take the notes with you?
I believe some of them I must have.
Did you give them to anyone, such as your attorneys
No.
or anyone else?
No.
Your assistant?
What does it matter? He's taking notes. What does it matter if he's just drawing pictures? That one I don't understand. Like, what does it matter if he's taking notes on the trial of like what people said?
No.
So
I suppose he'll get to that.
You testified today. You don't know where those notes are?
No.
Do you know if they exist?
I hope so.
Why do you hope so?
I just hope so.
And did you give them to someone for safekeeping?
No.
Do you know if they're in your house?
No, I don't know.
Okay. Did you meet with anyone to prepare for this deposition
Other than your attorneys.
No.
other than your attorneys?
No.
And did you meet with your attorneys?
Don't answer that.
Who are the attorneys that you met with to prepare for this deposition?
Don't answer that either.
Are these instructions on not to answer?
Yes.
And based on what
My
grounds?
attorney-client, attorney work product privilege.
Okay. Were there any persons who were not lawyers, other than yourself, of course, present during sessions in preparation for this deposition?
Assuming there were sessions in preparation for this deposition.
Correct.
No.
All persons present, other than yourself, were lawyers.
Assuming that.
Such preparation
Yeah, we're
sessions
done,
occurred.
Yes.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Although I don't think why it would be like out of the scope, right? To think that I don't know. I guess under my understanding is people prepare for trials and depositions. Like a lawyer is going to go over these things, you know, with you to just make sure that your answers are being questioned in the proper way. His written notes can be used as evidence against him and violate privilege if turned over. Oh, interesting. If he gave them to a friend or a non-lawyer. Right. I guess what I'm wondering is, like, if you're taking notes from the trial and what people have said, I'm assuming he's taking notes and, like, reiterating instead of, like, writing his own notes. You know what I mean? Like, I guess how would that benefit? If you're taking notes from a trial, you're taking notes about how everything happened. I don't know. I guess they would want to see if he, like, had extra thoughts about it.
Do you have a copy of any
Patron in
of
his
the
cup.
videotape materials that were used to make this soon-to-be-released video?
No.
You have nothing?
No.
Do you have the final product?
No.
Have you seen it?
No.
Okay. Do you have any of the script materials?
Well, I assume there are script materials.
Were there scripts prepared by writers to prepare for the making of this video
What is the video?
And on what? Given to me?
that you saw? Not necessarily given to you.
Was it like a documentary? What are they even talking about?
Saw? Yes.
Do you have copies of those scripts?
They weren't for me. No, I don't.
You don't have anything.
No.
What's the name of this soon-to-be-released video?
O.J. Tells, I believe.
O.J. Tells?
There it is.
So you
OJ
have
Phone
tells.
number also.
Excuse me?
That's the phone number, 1-800-OJ Tells.
I see. So right now you have nothing in your possession with respect to this video, O.J.
Did he just say 1-800-OJ tells? Is that?
So you have...
That's the phone number also.
Excuse me?
That's the phone number, 1-800-OJ Tells.
I see. So right now you have
That's a good
nothing in
point,
your
Shawnee.
possession with respect to this video, O.J. Tells. Is that right?
That's correct.
Do your lawyers?
I don't know.
Do any of your representatives have any of these materials relating to the video in their
I
possession?
don't know what you mean by representatives. I will take the suspense out of it that the lawyers do not have a copy of any of the tapes.
Okay. Mr. Blazer was present during the production of this video, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And Mr. Blazer prepared a list of topics or points to be covered in the course of making this video, correct?
I would say that's not correct. No.
Can you explain to me?
Explain to you what? You just
I mean,
don't explain, just answer his question.
Did Mr. Blazer or anyone else hand out a list of points to be covered in the video?
Well, to the extent that Blazer talked to him about any points, I still believe and instruct enough to answer that's going to be based on the attorney-client privilege. Mr.
Okay.
Blazer is an attorney and he's of counsel in this matter. So I instruct enough to answer that question.
When Mr. Blazer was participating in the making of this video, did you understand that he was doing so in his role as attorney of record in this case?
Yes.
And you asked him to do that for that reason?
Yes.
And he had to...
Hello. Can you see me now? I have to talk to my brother-in-law because I told him about this and he's like, this should not happen to you. I don't know why this happens to you. He's like, maybe you have too many windows open. And I'm like, but that's the point of my live stream, is having so many windows open. Maybe I'll shut Discord. Maybe that's why. Anyways, I'm back. It's just funny because on YouTube, it still shows me like live. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Anyways. Okay. Back to business as usual. Thank you for being patient. Ha ha ha. It's so funny. Okay. We love an intermission.
written out for you.
No.
Did you write?
All right.
At what point?
At any point.
Of the interview?
No, forget the interview. The other parts where you're talking to the camera without Becker.
Irritates me.
Let me ask you some questions about medical injuries in your life. You've had some surgeries, correct?
Yes.
Where have you had surgeries?
My hand, my knees,
Deep a moment.
and my inner rectal.
What knees?
In my eye once.
Okay, let's start with the knees. What knees did you have surgery on?
Basically the left knee and I believe one on my right knee.
Do you have surgical scars on the left knee?
Yes.
Do you have surgical scars on the right knee?
Not that you can detect.
Okay. What eye did you have surgery on?
You see a hole in one of these eyebrows, I don't recall it.
It's left.
Left eye?
Left eye, yeah.
Okay. Left eyebrow?
No, actually, it was the eye.
Eye. And,
Well, and the knee thing, remember, he was trying to say that the knee thing is why he couldn't have committed the crimes. He wanted to show his knees to the jury before his test, or I don't think he was ever going to testify, but he wanted to make sure that the jury saw his knees. Do you guys remember us going through that in the preliminaries? And the prosecution was like, no, absolutely not.
Is there any scarring?
No.
And
Oh!
hand surgery?
Yeah.
Which hand?
Left hand.
He doesn't have any scarring on his knees? Then what would be the point of showing the knees to the jury? What?
Scars from that.
Yes.
Do you have any other visible scars on your body?
Yes.
Where?
All over.
Where?
Elbow, ribs, foot, knees, arms. Few on the face.
These are from what? Playing football?
Basically, yes.
You know he wants to be like, yeah, I'm the best running back of all time. Duh. Of course I have scars.
Okay. Are they permanent scars?
I haven't played football in 15 years, and they're still there, so I would imagine so.
And you have them on both of your arms?
Yeah.
Where?
Wrists, elbows, forearms,
Okay. And also on your legs? Where?
mostly calf area.
Now, did you have these scars, these visible scars, as of June 12, 1994?
I haven't played football since then.
Okay, so all these came from playing football?
Yes, basically, yeah.
Are there any other scars that you know about?
I assume
yes,
that's going to get to defensive wounds, either from both Ronald and Nicole, or Nicole when he was
As of June 12, 1994,
abusing her.
I want to ask you a series of questions.
Allegedly.
About who were your advisors and close friends and so forth as of that point in time? So I'd like you to focus on June 12, 1994, okay? And did you have a general business attorney?
Yes.
And who was that?
Skip Taft.
Did you have an accountant?
Through his office, yes.
And who was that?
Mary Ann, I can't think of it. No,
Yeah, these
Maryland.
questions
I
are
can't think of her last name.
interesting,
manager?
No.
to say the least.
Did you have a secretary?
Yes.
Who was that?
An assistant, I would rather
Assistant?
say. Yeah. Kathy Randa.
And any other assistants or secretaries?
No.
And how long had Randa been working for you?
Roughly 20 years.
20 years?
Yes.
And did Randa have any employees working with her on your
All right, get
on
to
your
the
matters?
You mean as an employee?
And does Kathy,
Sanford Center.
is that your office?
Yes.
OJ, where does she work now? Beside you mentioned Taft. Okay. In or around June of
Do they have
1994.
any times here?
Al Collins. You want to hold it?
Okay, key moments. Oh, this
Bobby
is
Taylor.
so
Paul
helpful.
Barbieri. When you say in and around,
June
just hold
1994.
Nicole Brown.
Been convicted of a felony?
No.
You ever been convicted of any crime?
I pleaded no contest in a spousal abuse case in 1989.
Which
so I know
is
what that
and so okay, so I want to tell you guys something. I have a client who's a lawyer, and I talk to her. We talk about all this stuff. She loves Emily D. Baker. I love Emily D. Baker. I really want to get her on the podcast. She's so great. I tell her all the time, but I don't know if she's comfortable doing it. I'm like, you have to sit on my podcast. You're so smart. And she's a lawyer. And she's a law professor. And I love the way that she tells me and we talk about things. And so we were talking about this, and I said he was convicted of, domestic battery. And she's like, he was? And I said, yeah, he was, he pleaded no contest. And she goes, that's different. That's definitely different. She goes, let me look at it. So she did look at it, and she goes, oh, I guess because he pleaded no contest, and he, where he was in California, like he was convicted of that crime, and he went, and he got community service, and he got a fine, and he was ordered to go to, like anger management. Yes, we do learn as we go. That's what we do here.
Have you ever pleaded no contest or guilty or been found guilty to any other crimes?
No.
Have you ever been charged with any crimes other than the spousal abuse and the murder case?
Honestly, I would love to have her on. She's so smart. Oh my God, she's so smart. And the way she breaks things down is in a way that I can understand. And also too, like I'll tell her things and she'll be like, well, now hold on a second. Let's just back that up and whatever. And I'm like, okay, fine. Change my mind then. But she's great. I'm going to get her on here one day. I promise you.
No.
You ever been sued civilly for any acts of physical violence?
No.
Not until now.
You ever been charged with rape?
No.
I don't mean
No.
formally in a complaint?
No.
Or informally in a claim by a
No.
person or a letter?
No.
Nothing like that? In your
No.
whole past?
No.
You ever been accused of battery other than spousal battery?
No.
Civilly,
Oh, other than your spouse. I was like, wait, excuse?
No.
criminally,
No.
informally? You ever make a settlement with anyone who charged you with assault, rape, or battery?
No.
I think that's the other thing that's so wild about this case too, is he had such a clean record up until this point. And I think that's also why people didn't want to believe that he was capable of doing this, because he was so squeaky clean. He never got in trouble, which is interesting to me because I talk about this with my husband all the time. Like, I don't think that if you have any charges against you for like domestic battery, anything, you should be able to play sports. Like, that's a luxury. That is a luxury. And he's like, yeah, well, you know, like the NFL is big money. And there's so many people who play sports who have been convicted of beating their pregnant wives or girlfriends or whatever the case is. And then they just get to go out on the football field and make millions of dollars. And we're just like, oh, okay, whatever, you know. But he can catch a football. You know, it's like, yeah, he can also catch these fucking hands. But I think the thing is that because OJ had such a squeaky, like, you know, I think of the Hertz commercial, and like, he's just such a like, hey, I'm OJ. Like, it just, I don't know. I feel like people couldn't fathom that he was capable of doing this.
As of June of 1994, it's true that you had generally favorable relations with the Los Angeles Police Department?
I don't know what you mean by that. I don't know that he can characterize his relations. But,
You can answer.
No, don't answer that. That question is overbroad, vague, and ambiguous.
Did you think you had good...
Easy there, Knuckles. This, wives don't count and divorces don't count either. For some reason, it's always got to me that even though they were divorced, yes, Nicole remained his wife throughout the trial. That's right. They always said, and that's, you know, that's one of the things that I touch on in either the third episode or the fourth episode. There's a lot of people who talk about domestic violence and domestic abuse, and they're like, well, why didn't they just leave? Nicole left. Now what? What are you going to say now? She left. I'll never. He couldn't catch the ball, actually. They tried his first 2 years, and he was a bust. Hi, Mike.
A good relationship with the LAPD? As of June 1, 1994.
His state of mind relative to his relations with the LAPD is irrelevant. I'm instructed not to answer that question.
Okay. Before June 1 of 1994, had you ever been arrested by the LAPD?
No.
Okay. Had they ever come out?
You know what's interesting about this fact is the Goldmans bought the rights to that book, and they made the if so little and put it in the I. So it just, when you see it from far away, it just says, I did it. The OJ story. Geniuses. The Goldmans are so... I would love to sit down and have a cup of coffee with Kim. She is bad. I love it. But didn't block, didn't catch, etc. Look out, Mike.
Out to your house
Yes.
when you were present?
In an official capacity?
No, had they ever come to your... Yes, in an official capacity.
Yes.
When you were present at the house?
Yes.
On how many occasions?
8. 8.
1, possibly 2 times.
8.
What was the one time that you remember clearly?
1989.
They came out to the
No.
house and did not...
No. They were called 8 times. They were dispatched to that house 8 times. Hi, Tony. 8 times. The worst time for a person in DV is when they're leaving or after. That's a great point. Have we ever gone over the interview he did about the book? No. I have not seen that yet.
Correct.
And
Rim shot.
the other time was when?
I don't totally remember this time, but it was 1984. They tell me Mark Furman came to my house.
And he did not arrest you, correct?
No.
Nor did anyone else, right?
No.
And let's talk about 1984. 1984, Mark Furman did, in fact, come to OJ's house, where Nicole was in a bra, sweatpants, and no shoes. She was hiding in the bushes. She was battered. And, yeah. Oh, that's right. He was holding the bat to, after he had smashed in their, I believe, their Mercedes-Benz window, the windshield.
And, are there any
Lisa,
times
we'll
you
have to look
remember
at
when
it.
the police in their official capacity came out to your house?
No.
Okay. Now, were there any times when you were at Nicole's house that the police came out?
Once.
When was that?
1993.
And why were you at her house? And why were you at her house? Is it because you used to stalk her and harass her and show up at her house and watch in her windows at her most intimate moments? And was there a time that she was calling the police and she was on the phone as you were breaking in the back door? Was that 1993? After she had divorced you? Just wondering.
Did they arrest you then?
No.
No, of course they didn't. They never
Did members
arrested
of
him.
the
Ever.
LAPD frequent your house from time to time?
That's pretty vague.
Yeah, so you have to be a little more specific. 'Cause I
Did they ever
can't
come
answer
visit you?
that. Stop.
In an unofficial capacity, come visit him for a social call. Is that the
Correct,
question?
Mr. Baker. And all of this is before June 12, 1994.
Yes, and even after. They've stopped and talked to me at my driveway and stuff, yes.
Even now, you mean?
Yes.
Okay. And prior to June 12, 1994, would they come to your house from time to time to use your pool,
No.
your tennis courts?
One individual had used my pool, I think when he was still with the LAPD,
Who was that?
Ron Ship.
Okay.
Oh, but I thought Ron Ship wasn't your friend. I thought we weren't friends with Ron Ship. Why is he coming over to your house to use your pool? Why is he coming to barbecues? Why? He was too rich and important to pay any criminal penalties at that time. Absolutely.
Never alone did he use my pool at that point. But my tennis court, I'm pretty sure he did.
He used your tennis court?
Yes.
Any other LAPD members use your tennis court besides
Not that I know
Mr.
of.
Ship?
Oh, and by the way, he says that he wasn't friends with Ron Ship. Him and Ron Ship have known each other since they were like 15 years old. And yeah, you could say that they're not friends, but like, why is he the only one who was on the LAPD that was able to use your amenities at your house? Girl, be for fucking real.
Bring other people with him when he used the pool and tennis courts?
Tennis court, we're talking, not pool. Yes, he had from time to time, he had a foursome that he would play tennis with.
Okay. Did you ever file any charge of harassment against the police at any time before June of 1994?
No.
Okay. You ever attend any LAPD
You never had to.
Christmas parties?
Not that I recall.
You ever attend any LAPD functions?
Not that I recall.
You don't remember attending annual Christmas parties?
I know I didn't attend it, not annually in the end, but
You know,
I don't recall. I don't
Christmas
ever recall.
Yeah, so here's the thing, and this is one of the things that we learned about last time is now they've changed the laws that even if domestic violence victims refuse to press charges, the police can now override that. And I believe there's it's called lethality something. But they can sort of assess the situation and go from there. They can take it out of the hands of the victim, which I think is really important because also it takes the, what's the word? It takes the blame off of the victim as well. It's like, well, I didn't press the charges. The charges got pressed. Yeah. Tony, that's a great point. I wish the lady could, Jill Shively, I believe her name was. I wish that lady could testify about seeing him leaving near the crime scene. The problem is, and we talk about this, I can't remember if it's in the 3rd or 4th episode coming up. She sells her story to the press. So could she still have been used? Yes. But the question becomes, are you credible if that happens? And I think that's the biggest issue.
Doing that, no.
Any kind of parties or functions?
Over my years in LA, I've attended a lot of functions, and I can't really recall any that was specifically LAPD.
You ever autograph footballs for officers?
Oh, yes.
LAPD officers?
Oh, yes, very true, but I've seen where they get it wrong. So sad. One of the things that we will be covering is the body cam footage from the Gabby Petito case. Unbelievably wrong. Unbelievably wrong.
Every officer, everybody, yes.
All right, I want to
them?
see.
I never charged.
And did not charge the LAPD, correct?
Well, I don't know if an LAPD officer drove up and had a football.
Did you plan to commit suicide at the cemetery?
I didn't know what I was going to do.
Did you plan to commit suicide after the cemetery?
I never thought of it to that extent.
Did you have in your mind when you would end your life?
No, no.
Was the purpose of the gun to use to end your life if you saw fit to do so?
Oh my God.
I'm sure that was part of it, yes.
Where did you get the gun?
From my car,
Which car?
my Bentley.
The Bentley was at Rockingham, right? You have to answer.
Yes,
And how did the Bentley get from Rockingham to Mr. Kardashian's home?
it did.
You stopped off at Rockingham and picked up the gun?
No.
Well, explain to me how you got the gun.
Explain to me how you got to Robert Kardashian's house.
When I got home from the police station, because I told the police that the gun was in my Bronco, and at that point, no one had told me how Nicole was murdered. And I was curious if the gun was still in my car. And at one point, I don't know who, I asked somebody to go look in my back seat and get a little case. And they got it, and it was the gun.
Who's the somebody?
When you said that you told the police the gun was in your Bronco, you're referring to the statement you gave to the detective? I'm sorry, when you told the police? Your prior answer was that you told the police that the gun was in your Bronco.
Well, I meant Bentley.
You meant Bentley?
Yes.
Right, because he wouldn't have had the Bronco. The Bronco was impounded, and the Bronco that he was in the chase with was Al Cowlings's Bronco. They both had white Broncos.
When you said when you said that that you told the police that the gun was in your Bentley, are you referring to the statement that you gave to Detectives Van Adder and Lang?
Yes.
And when you left the police department, you went back to Rockingham and you had someone go into the Bentley to see if the gun was still there.
Eventually, not quite the way you said it, but eventually.
That day?
Yeah, later that day.
Who's the somebody?
I don't recall.
Who'd you ask to get the gun?
I don't recall.
Did the person bring it to you?
Not the gun.
OJ! 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 On the biggest day of your life, you do not recall who you asked to retrieve a pew-pew from your vehicle.
Gun that brought the case that it was in to me.
A gun case?
No,
What case are you referring
just
to?
a little case it used to be carried in.
A leather bag? What was it?
It was like a little violin case,
A violin case?
like a miniature violin case.
A heart case?
Yes,
And what did that case have in it?
a gun.
What else?
That's it.
Bullets?
I'm sure bullets, yes.
In the gun?
Yes.
Okay. Now,
You need to go.
when...
I think you can only get out.
Yeah, you just
Go
go
ahead.
out that way just to make it easier.
Go left.
Yeah. Yeah, just keep going left, okay?
Well, is this a good time? Let's take a break. We've
Okay.
been going for an hour,
Okay.
20, 15 minutes.
I think AC knows a whole lot more. I could go on for a long time about what I think about AC.
I'm going to go back to where we were, Mr. Simpson, concerning the retrieval of the gun. Do you remember what time you got back to Rockingham from the police station on the 13th of June?
From my office, they wouldn't let us go directly back to Rockingham. If I had to guess, it's a guess. Roughly 6 o'clock maybe.
You went from the police station to your office in Brentwood?
Yes.
And then you went to Rockingham.
They told us it was all right to come to
Come back. Can you guys hear it down there?
That's a good point.
Just need to keep your voice up.
From the police station to Rockingham, and then I believe it was Lang said it was all right, Van Adder one, when I called my home to come home.
Okay.
But you just said you went from the police station to Rockingham. You
No,
meant
so
to your
to my office in Brentwood and then to Rockingham.
And when you, who drove you from police station to the office?
Either Bob Kardashian or Weissman.
And from the office to Rockingham, who drove you?
I don't know, probably Bob or Skip. I don't really recall.
Bobby and Bob Kardashian,
Kardashian,
and
yes.
Skip being Skip Taft.
Yes.
And when you got to Rockingham, you then asked someone to go look into the Bentley for the gun because, why?
May have been a little later. I didn't
Later
do
that evening?
immediately, yeah, because I was curious.
What were you curious about?
If they took the gun out of my car,
They being whom?
the police officers.
Why did you want to know that?
It was just curious. Some people were murdered, and I had a gun in my car.
Now, was it
Did he just say some people? You mean the mother of your children?
was it your suggestion to get the gun
I asked someone to go look and see, to bring me, if there was a case in the back of my car, would they bring it to me?
in the trunk?
No, in the back seat, behind the front seat.
So he can remember where it was, what it was in. When he asked somebody to look at it, he has no idea who he asked to go look. He can remember A, B, C, and E, but not D. Okay.
Yes,
And who retrieved it for you?
I don't recall who.
No idea?
No.
What was in the trunk of that Bentley?
They were never important to
You
him,
don't have
Shawnee.
it On the 13th.
I couldn't tell you exactly, but I know some clubs and some balls were in there, and some other paraphernalia.
On the evening of June 12, and on to the day of June 13, you knew that there were some clubs and some balls and other paraphernalia in the trunk of the Bentley. Is that right?
I would assume they were still there on the 13th. Yes.
Okay. You last left the trunk, clubs and balls and other paraphernalia in the trunk?
Well, last time I looked in my trunk, some balls were left in, and some I took out, and there was a bunch of junk back there, but a lot of clubs. Yes.
Lots of clubs?
Yes.
Golf clubs?
Yes.
When was the last time you looked in the Bentley? Before June 13?
And you're
that
referring
night,
to the
Sunday
trunk?
Trunk of the Bentley.
night, Sunday night, the night previous, 10, a little after 10.
When, at the point in time on the evening of the 13th that you had someone go into the Bentley to get the gun, did you not know how Nicole had been killed?
Yes.
You did not know,
I did
right?
not know.
Did you believe that she had been killed by a gun?
I didn't know.
Did you believe that that was even a possibility?
You know what's also interesting? He didn't know because he didn't ask. He never asked how she was killed. I feel like that would be one of the first things that I would say if somebody was like, you know, your ex or whatever. If so-and-so was killed, you're like, how? Like, if they're not, I feel like when people are not of an age that there's like a natural causing, your immediate thought is, how does this happen? You're just like, they're like, oh, she was killed. And you're like, all right.
Did you have any information that she had been killed through the use of a knife?
Not at all.
Did you ask anyone how she was killed?
I asked the police on many occasions what happened, and they continued to tell me that they didn't know, and they were still investigating.
Did you see press reports and television programs during the day about this?
Once I got
Today
home,
is the 13th?
Yes, before you went and asked that the gun be retrieved.
I knew that when I got home, we put on all 3 TVs. Just about every TV in the house was on, and you know, the press didn't seem to know much more than anyone else at that time.
There were no.
Also, I just want to let you guys know, you guys are way behind me for some reason. So if my stuff seems super delayed, I am so sorry. I'll just put this in the chat real quick because you'll see it. But at least I'm still streaming. I love and hate streaming all at the same time.
Reports that she had been killed perhaps by a knife?
None that I had seen, no.
So you had no information whatsoever how she had been killed, is that right?
That's correct.
Were you told that she had been murdered?
Yes. Basically, yes.
And that's all you knew?
Yes.
As of the evening of June 13th, correct?
Yes.
Did you ask anyone else besides the police how she had been killed?
Yeah, that's the other thing. The police also said, how, where are the kids? Where are they? Are they okay? Who is with them? He never asked one of those questions. He was in Chicago when they told him about Nicole. And then he was like, okay, I'm coming back. And that's what Tom Lang says. Tom's like, he never asked. He never asked about Nicole. He never asked about his kids. He never asked. He was just like, all right, I'll come home. Because that's the thing, right? They were in Nicole's house when her and Ron were murdered. So wouldn't you be like, oh my God, my kids were at the house. Are they okay? Did they see anything? Did they get hurt? This is also true. You only ask those questions if you give a damn.
Bob Kardashian, Skip Taft, anyone else?
I may have, during the course of the day, as I came in contact with people, I think everybody was trying to ask everybody what happened, what did they know.
And nobody had any knowledge about how she was killed as of that point in time?
No.
Okay. Correct?
As far as I recall, no.
What did you do with the gun case when you got it? Did you open it up?
Yes.
And what'd you do?
I opened it up in my office. I believe I put it in my bag.
Your office at the home?
Yes.
And who was with you?
I don't recall.
What bag did you
I
put it
think it seemed like a good idea.
in? Have you ever used a disguise before in public places?
Sort of.
What do you mean by that?
I've used where I've had fake casts, so I wouldn't have to sign autographs, you know, sunglasses and hats and stuff in the past.
You ever used a fake beard and goatee?
I've used it before, but not really for public, not really out in the public.
Not to disguise yourself from members of the
No,
public?
just if I'm doing a shoot sometime and they have them, I'll come home and I'll wear it home and tease my kids.
Had you ever taken your kids to Knott's Berry Farm before?
Yes.
Before June 1994?
Yes.
And to Disneyland?
Yes.
And other public places?
Yes.
And did you ever wear a disguise to conceal your identity?
Right, sort
Yeah,
of.
those sunglasses, fake casts on my hands, hats, yes.
Well, the fake cast on your hand wouldn't conceal your identity as O.J. Simpson, correct?
Well, it keeps me from signing autographs, it's all for the same purpose.
What I'm trying to find out is whether you had ever worn a disguise with your children in public places for the purpose of preventing people from recognizing you.
Well, yeah, as I said, when I wear sunglasses and hats that I would normally wear, I've done that many times.
And was that successful?
For the most part, yeah.
Besides hats and sunglasses, had you ever worn any other disguises in public for the purpose of concealing your identity?
Halloween, other than that, no.
Other than Halloween?
No.
Okay. Now, how did the beard and goatee get into your black bag from its location on your desk in Brentwood?
I put it in there.
That day?
Would imagine so, yeah.
Now, from the time you...
Not the day that the day, whenever.
Oh my God! Did you guys? I was just reading the comments. Did you guys? Hold on. Look at 756. He almost slips up and says, not the day that I could. Hold on. Hold on. We're going to put this back to regular speed. Actually, I'm going to slow it down by just one. Hold the phone. 7:56. It's up as loud as it'll go. Okay, hold on.
Worn a disguise with your children in public places for the purpose of
Wear sunglasses and hats that I would normally wear. I've done that many times. Yeah.
disguises in public.
Other than that.
Here we go.
Now, how did the beard and goatee get into your black bag from its location on your desk in Brentwood?
I put it in there.
That day?
Would imagine so, yeah.
Now, from the time you...
Not the day that whenever day it was involved, whenever day I got it, I put it.
Not the day that I... Did you hear that? Not the day that I...
in Brentwood.
I put it in there.
That day?
Would imagine so, yeah.
Now, from the time you...
Not the day whenever day it was involved, whenever day I got it.
We'll play it at regular speed. I'm going to do it one more time.
Day?
Would imagine so, yeah.
Now, from the time you...
Not the day whenever day it was involved, whenever day I got it, I put it in my
That's
black.
what I...
Sir! Wow! What else they got in these comments? What else? Wanted 20. Okay, so 2314 is another one we need to write down just to make sure we don't miss it. Wow. 2314. All right, just to make sure. 2314. All right, got it.
I meant.
Yes.
Now, from that day on, had you ever used it?
I don't believe it's ever been used.
So you never used it, right?
No.
And you never even opened it yourself?
23-1.
No.
You looked at it, put it in the bag, and left it there, right?
Yeah.
I need that too. Do 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 do.
When did you said your passport was always in your bag, right?
Mm-hmm. My travel bag, yes.
This is the black leather bag we're talking about.
Yes.
Wow. I hear whispering.
Let me show you some photographs.
Look at this photograph.
Trial exhibits. What they are, I correct myself, they are photographs of trial exhibits. Okay? Do yes, I don't have duplicates of these, so everybody's free to look at them.
Okay, question?
The question, Mr. Simpson, is whether this black bag that we've been talking about, this black leather bag where you had the beard and goatee and the passport and credit cards and other items, is identified in these
Yeah,
exhibits.
this appears to be the bag, yes.
Could you point to it?
Yeah, it looks like that could be the bag.
So for the record, you're pointing to what was marked in the trial as Exhibit 1064.
And what?
Are there other exhibit numbers there, Mr. Baker?
No, it's just 1064.
Two
Okay.
different bags, though.
Oh, there are two different bags.
Well,
in
there's this carry-out
1064?
bag
Yeah.
in 1064 as well. It's a fold-over bag, garment bag, I think it's commonly called.
How many
It has
different
initials.
bags are depicted in Exhibit 1064?
It appears to be two.
Two. And the one in...
So kind of a suit carry bag.
Okay, and the other photographs, 1, 2, 3, 4, are the black garments.
What else do they see here? Hold on.
Like grip.
What do you call this
briefcase.
bag?
A grip, a briefcase. I use it as basically a briefcase, but I don't carry a briefcase anymore, and it's a grip. It's a grip.
Okay, and this is Exhibit 1064, the grip or the
Two-thirds of
briefcase. Two-thirds of it is the black bag that you had with you on the evening of June 13th, right?
Yes.
All right, we have 33, 32. And a lot of these are in the 20s, I guess.
When you went to the police station, did you bring that black bag with you?
Yes.
And that black bag
2905.
went to Chicago with you?
Yes.
Okay. And the first time that black bag left your possession when you came back from Chicago is when?
When I believe it was Van Adder put it in the trunk of his car
Where?
at Rockingham.
Before you went to the police station?
Yes.
Okay, then when you got to the police station, did you have it there?
No, it stayed in his car.
Okay, and at some point later in the day, Van Adder returned it to you?
Yes.
Okay. And that was when you got back from the office, right?
Yes.
And did you look in the bag when he returned it to you?
Yes.
Did you notice anything missing?
No.
Okay. Did you notice anything added to it? Anything new?
Yeah, I don't look that closely, but I would say no.
Okay. Why did you put the gun in the bag?
because someone had, well, at the time, it's because I just brought it in the house. My house was loaded with people, and I was in my office, and I just stuck it in the bag.
So now we have a gun in a bag with a disguise. Okay. Just making sure.
At that time, yes.
Were you the registered owner of that gun?
I thought I was, yes.
Were you?
It turns out since I've only read that it was registered to someone else.
Who?
I didn't catch it, Lil B. Somebody in the comments did. I'm glad they did.
I don't know.
How did you cause to get a gun registered in the name of another person?
Well, wait, that's argumentative. Don't answer that question. That assumes that he caused that to happen.
Did you purchase that gun?
No.
How did you come to possess the gun?
It was given to me as a gift.
Who gave it to you as a gift?
I believe it was Mike Ornstein.
Mike?
Ornstein.
When did he give it to you?
One Christmas, I believe.
Years before?
Possibly.
And when you received the gun,
We just give people non-registered guns? Like, isn't that illegal? Can you not do that? And then you have to get it registered in your name, right?
did you do anything to try to get it registered in your name?
I was told it was registered. It was already taken care of.
By whom?
I don't know. I didn't ask.
Somebody can't register it in your... You have to register it in your name. What?
Okay, so as of June of
You mean
19...
who took care of the registration or who told him that it was registered?
Who took care of the registration? Do you know who did?
I assume Mike Ornstein had.
You don't know, though?
No.
And who told you that it was taken care of?
Mike Ornstein.
Had you ever used that gun?
No.
Here's a gun. I registered it in your name. Okay. Do you have the papers? Aren't there papers?
Did you keep it loaded
Yes.
at all times?
Exactly.
From the time he gave it to me, no.
That's legal.
When did you load it for the last time?
Roughly a month previous to the death.
And why?
Because I had an incident on the freeway, and I started keeping the gun in my car.
Before the incident on the freeway, you did not have the gun in your car?
When he meant incident on the freeway, I'm like, you mean the Bronco chase? That's an incident for sure.
Correct.
Where was it?
Probably in my closet.
This is an incident around the 7th of May en route to Dana Point?
That's correct.
Or Monarch Bay, I should say?
That's correct.
What happened?
Did you own any other guns in June of
Hold
90?
on. What happened? What happened? What happened to OJ on Freeway May 7th? That was a parade. People like to give me things. Nope, I don't see anything. I don't know what happened. What happened? I want to know what. Give me the tea.
94?
Yes.
How many?
I don't know.
Lots?
I would think so.
Where were they?
Mostly in my closet.
More than 5?
I don't think so.
Were any of them loaded in June of 94 besides this one gun?
You don't know how many guns you have? Don't people who purchase firearms know how many they have?
I don't believe so. One might have been, but it had a lock on it.
Can you identify the guns that you owned in June of 94?
I know I can't.
You know the names of them?
One I know was I think it was an M16, and I think that was a 357, and I think there was another 357.
I love that he's like, I don't know how many I have. And then they're like, can you name them? And he's like, M16. What? What?
3 guns?
It was a secret Santa.
Did you, in beginning around, I think you said a month before the deaths, you put the 357 in the underneath the seat of the Bentley, is that right?
Yes.
And did you put any gun in the Bronco?
No.
You typically drove the Bronco, right?
I drove both cars.
You drove the Bronco more.
You know, depends. It just depends. At night, I would drive the Bentley, and it just depends. I really can't tell you which one I drove more.
You
Mr.
can't?
Pike, I think you're on
The
a
Bronco
list
was your
somewhere.
favorite car, wasn't it?
Not necessarily, no.
You drove them both around the same, correct? Is that what you're now saying?
Is that what he's now saying as contrast to what he said before? That's argumentative. Instruct him not to answer.
Is that your testimony that you drove both the Bentley and the Bronco roughly the same?
Yeah, I would think actually, roughly the same
Okay.
amount of time, yeah.
Or, let's make it more specific. As of June 12 of 1994, in addition to any guns that you've mentioned, did you own any other weapons?
No.
Did you own any knives other than kitchen knives?
Yes.
Yeah, but Lucia, that makes sense. I feel like as the collector, your husband would know how many he has, right? Probably more than 20, less than 30. I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like somebody who, like my uncle and my cousin are like gun enthusiasts. They could tell you. They could tell you exactly what they are. So, but like my aunt couldn't. So, like, if you didn't know how many there are, that wouldn't surprise me. Okay. Maybe it's because I only have one. So I know how many are in my house. I don't know. Had connections to the mob. What? I have never heard this. There are so many theories. There are so many. Somebody commented in my comments that said that we shouldn't be paying attention to this trial because this never actually happened. There was no murder, and Nicole Simpson is now actually Megyn Kelly. All right, well, that makes sense. Okay. I guess people don't know how many firearms they have. I don't know. I don't know. I have one in my name, so I know that one. Well, that's good. Are you sure? Are you sure it was registered to you? Are you sure? Or did somebody just tell you it was registered to you? But yeah, people think that Nicole is Megyn Kelly. But I don't know how many he has. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I thought people would know more. I guess not. And OJ is in Argentina. Hi, Critical.
How many?
I have no idea.
Where'd you get those knives?
I work for a company that made knives.
What's the name of that company?
Forstner.
I'm sorry?
Forstner.
Forschner. You're on the board of directors?
Yes.
You were?
Yes.
Are you still?
No.
Thank God.
And what kind of knives does Forschner make?
I was involved with the Swiss Army knife, basically.
What do you mean you were involved with it?
Well, that's what I spent most of my time trying to promote.
What is a Swiss Army knife?
A utility knife, I believe.
How big is it?
It depends.
They're different sizes?
Yes.
What do they range from?
A pocket knife to a multi-purpose
Okay, good.
larger knife.
How long?
I don't know.
What's the longest Swiss Army knife that you've seen?
You talking about hilt end blade or
Excuse me?
the whole thing? Hilt end blade or blade? What are you talking about?
Blade.
I'm guessing now. I'd say on the big knife is about 2.5, 3 inches maybe.
Have you ever seen one where the blade was 6 inches?
No.
Are the only knives that you owned outside of kitchen knives these Swiss Army knives made by Forschner?
I may have had a few other knives, I'm not sure.
You may have?
Yes.
Do you remember having any?
I remember one, but I remember having others too.
Well, how many did you have outside of the Swiss Army knives as of June 12th?
I have no idea.
More than 10?
I doubt that.
More than 5?
I don't know.
Could it be more than 5?
Well, don't guess.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
Where were these knives?
I have no idea.
What was their purpose in your having? What was your purpose in having them?
We went camping a lot, and from time to time you buy a knife. So I hadn't seen them, but then I bought a knife a few weeks before, a month or so before.
Who went camping a lot?
Nicole and I and the kids over the years. My other kids, Nicole and I.
And you used these knives for camping, the ones you're now referring to?
Nicole would buy them, and I guess.
Let me be clear.
Did you buy them or did Nicole buy them? Because if you guys went camping and both of you bought them, like,
On this, Mr. Simpson. I'm asking what knives were in your house on the evening as of June 12, 1994, outside of knives used for eating.
I have absolutely no idea.
You've described some Swiss Army knives, correct?
Yes.
Where were those kept?
Wherever, downstairs in drawers. I give them out as gifts, so they're all over the place.
Were they in boxes?
there are a lot of things being given as gifts. Guns, knives. Do you guys just ever give away like candles or cheese and caramel popcorn?
Most of them, yes.
Each individual Swiss Army knife is in a box, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and they were downstairs in various places?
Yes.
Any in your bedroom?
I'm sure.
You get them for free?
Yes.
Okay. Did the Forschner Company ever give you any
I think it
training
was
on the use of
great.
these knives?
No.
Okay. Now, in addition to the Swiss Army knives, you said...
You know, Aljack, God, you can't tell me a lot of things are in your house. I'm starting to suspect some things. Poetic justice is also the fact that he saw a not guilty verdict inside of the court, but when he got out, all the people that he aligned himself with forever saw a very guilty verdict, and his life was forever changed, which is also great.
Said that you own some other knives, a number of which you cannot recall, right?
I assume that over the years I know with my older kids, my younger kids.
All right, 2314 is coming up. That's a number we have to pay
Now, where did
attention
you
to.
keep the knives used for camping?
Normally outside with all whatever camping stuff we have, but I was never in charge of any of that, so I don't know.
In the garage?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, did you have any other knives in the
He was never in charge. Was Nicole a super camper or what?
residence outside of the garage?
I have one in particular that I do know of.
Describe that knife.
It was sort of a jackknife, but it didn't have a spring.
What do you mean by jackknife?
You know, when you used to push it and the knife jumps out.
So when you pushed it, you have to pull it out, you mean? Didn't spring
Yeah.
out?
Well, I think you can even shake it out.
I see. How long is that?
I don't know.
Blade.
I don't know.
I'm not accusing anybody of anything. So, I guess when you have a victim who has been stabbed, I guess they did in the Ohio case, right? Like they were able to tell that those 4 victims were brutally attacked by a K-bar knife. So I'm wondering in this case if they had the capability or at the time to tell what kind of knife it was that they were attacked with.
Where was that knife on the evening of June 12th?
As far as I know, in my home,
Where in your home?
in my bedroom.
Was that a stiletto?
I don't know.
Where in your bedroom?
On a shelf.
What shelf?
Shelf in my vanity.
Can you describe exactly where in the vanity?
Well, my vanity is one of these vanities or the mirrors. You can look 3 ways. And it was on the shelf there.
And who put it there?
I did.
When did you put it there?
Whenever I bought it.
And where is it now? I'd like to know that.
From the time you bought it, when you put it there, did you ever use it?
No.
Did you ever see it?
Not consciously, no.
Was it visible if you were standing in front of the vanity?
No.
Where'd you buy that knife?
Someplace downtown.
Was that Ross Cutlery?
Could very well be, yes.
Was that during the shooting of Frogman?
Yes.
Why did you buy it?
Because I liked it.
You went in and browsed around?
Actually, we were there about a half a day, and my seat where they put us was virtually in the store. And various people took me in the store to tell me things that they wanted because they handled Swiss Army watches and knives. And during the course of hanging around all day, I bought it.
What about the knife did you like?
The way it looked.
Was that the
All right,
first
it's
time
coming
you
up
bought a
to
knife
23.
For aesthetic purposes?
I think most things that I buy are for aesthetic
Was that
purposes.
the first time you bought a knife for aesthetic purposes?
I can't say that. I know in my life I bought knives before, and I'm sure it was because aesthetically I liked it because I'm not really a woodsman.
So you have bought knives before just for souvenirs or to collect them, right?
As a kid,
All right, just to, let's see, Lil B. There has been speculation and conspiracy theories suggesting that O.J. Simpson may have had ties to the mob, but there is no solid evidence proving that he was directly involved in organized crime. Some theories propose that his financial troubles, gambling habits, and associated with certain individuals may have put him in contact with people linked to the criminal underworld, but nothing definitive has ever been proven. He's had gambling debts. Some believe O.J. may have owed money to the wrong people, possibly tied to the mob. Some investigators and theorists claim he may have been hanging around with people who had mob ties. And some conspiracy theories suggest that Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman were murdered as a part of a mob hit, though this has never been backed by credible evidence. At the end of the day, O.J. was never officially linked to the mob in any legal or investigative proceedings. But that is the conspiracy. He's wiggling like a man whose butt itches. I agree with you. I think the knife went in the garbage at the airport. I agree. They could probably get the blade size, the thickness, and if it was serrated or not. That's a great point. That is a great point. And just maybe not the exact style of it. And don't forget the glove his wife gave, to lots of people for Christmas. Exactly. I have, I used to have a couple of really cool, I used to go fishing all the time with my grandfather, and I had a couple of really, really cool fillet knives. So, I mean, for people to own guns or knives or whatever, that does not bother me at all. I was just surprised. But I don't own a lot of these things. So if you were to ask me how many firearms I own, I would be able to tell you. So I guess that's why I forget that people collect or whatever, or have, higher numbers. I heard he got free knives from a sponsor and was checking in. Ew. Yuck. Yeah, I don't think especially with gambling and especially with sports, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that he would absolutely be mob tied. Hello, watching on TV, so I won't be able to chat. Hi, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming.
You buy knives or you...
And as an adult?
All right, 2314, here we go.
And whatever knives you collected over the years, if you still have them, they were in your residence, is that right?
If I still have them, I don't know where they are because I haven't seen them.
You haven't seen them since your release from jail?
I haven't seen them in years.
When was the last time you remember purchasing a knife before May of 1994 when you purchased this knife from Ross Cutlery?
Probably the summer of Summer of 92, summer of 91 or 92, I would think.
What knife did you purchase
I
then?
don't know, it was like a gym, I don't know if it was a boy, it was a hunting knife sort of thing.
What did you do with it?
I don't know.
Did you ever use it?
No.
Where did you keep it?
With all my camping stuff.
Where is that?
I don't know.
You don't know where your camping stuff is?
No.
In the garage?
I don't know. Nicole was the camper in the family, so, and I think she may have taken it.
So what was 20? Somebody said 2314 is classic. Where's the knife? With my camping stuff. Where is that at? I don't know. Oh, I don't. Yeah, that doesn't. All right.
The camp. You know, she does more camping than I do, so.
You ever use the knife you bought from Ross Cutlery?
No.
And where is that knife now?
I believe in the custody of you guys.
The police took it?
No.
Who took it?
All right, let's get to 29,
a judge.
and then we'll keep going here. 2905 is a big one.
Doubt that.
Did you show the knives to Mr. Upson, the driver?
No.
Now, did you have with you one knife that was 12 to 16 inches long?
No.
Are you
That
positive?
was a letdown.
Yes.
Very upset.
Did you take that knife out and show it to him and make a stabbing motion?
Wait, don't answer that question.
Why not?
Because there's no foundation for it. He just said he didn't have that knife. Now you said, did you take that knife, assuming the one that's 12 to 16 inches long, show it to him and make a stabbing motion?
Well, it might
We're not
refresh
gonna-
his recollection.
Yeah, right. No way he's going to answer that.
Do you recall whether or not you took a knife?
I do have to say, if I ever need a lawyer, I'm going to need this one. Yeah, there's no way he's going to answer that.
For it. He just said he didn't have that knife. Now you said, did you take that knife, assuming the one that's 12 to 16 inches long, show it to him and make a stabbing motion?
Well, it might
We're not
refresh
gonna-
his recollection.
Yeah, right. No way he's going to answer that.
Yeah,
Do you
right.
recall whether or not you took a knife 12 to 16 inches long and made a stabbing motion with it to the limo driver?
I know I didn't.
You remember you didn't?
Yes.
He said he knows he didn't. How can you remember an
Yeah.
act that you did not do?
What was the longest?
He did it. He knows he did it. He knows that emotion because he was like surprised that the lawyer knew.
Blade of the knives that you had with you and showed to the limo driver?
If I took one of our utility things, I would take
Exactly.
whatever that blade is, 2 inch maybe, 2.5, maybe an inch and a half. I really don't know.
Oh my God.
Get one and look at it.
That's too many bare faces.
When showing
Ugh.
the limo driver the knives, did you say, you can even kill somebody with this?
I never showed the limo driver the knives. I believe I may have given him one, but I didn't show him anything that I had in the bag.
You did not even show him the knives you remember having?
T-Bear, this
I
is
did
what
not.
you
I
said.
think I just gave him a gift.
Okay. Did you say you can even kill somebody with this,
No,
alluding to knives?
absolutely not.
Okay.
It's interesting that you would say that point out loud. I mean, you can end somebody's life with a kitchen knife. We know that. That's not something you'd like have to say. Like, I could kill somebody with this. No shit. It's like a weird thing to say. That would be like me holding a firearm being like, I could kill somebody with this. Yeah, duh. Do I think he planned it? Do I think he planned it? No. No. Because I think if he planned it, it wouldn't have been as sloppy as it was. Do I think that he intended during the dance recital and when he was told that he couldn't go to Mezzaluna to go over to Nicole's house to confront her for there to be an altercation? Absolutely. I think that if he didn't kill her that night, he was at least going to beat the shit out of her. So I think Mike Gilbert tells a story and he says, I asked OJ what happened. And OJ basically said that if Nicole never answered the door with a knife, she would still be alive. Do I think that could absolutely be true? Yeah, I do. And then I think also Ron Goldman being there and him, Ron trying to come out and help and OJ not knowing who Ron is or what's going on sent him into a rage. Absolutely. Yeah. Do I think that he went there to hurt her in some way? 1000%. He has too much stuff, doesn't know where anything is, can't remember who gave him what he saw, what was given to him. Yeah, he can't remember anything. No, so the garbage at the airport was never inspected. Also, I don't even know if they would be able to, like, depending on when Yeah, it was too late. That's what I was trying to say. Like when they had picked it up.
Okay. Did you make four or five phone calls during that trip?
I believe so.
Okay. To your friends?
Yes.
Did you say you'd be a little late for golf?
Yes.
Okay. You made some phone calls to your office?
Possibly.
You looked at some papers?
Possibly.
Fell asleep for about a half an hour?
Probably.
You should decide to change into golf clothes?
I'm pretty sure I did.
In the car?
I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure I would have tried if I had my clothes in the car, yes.
All right, what else do we have? The knife. Okay, so we have just up to that.
Blade 6 inches or longer?
No, I don't recall.
You don't remember one way or the other?
One way or the other.
Okay. You can't account for that.
Wait, don't answer that.
All right, this is just still
I
about
was
the
in
knife, so let's
I
go
was
to
in
the next
early
one.
70s. And I went hunting in the 60s for sort, but I don't recall when.
When you have gone fishing
You
or
gotta
hunting,
wait till he finishes.
I apologize,
Go
Mr.
ahead,
Baker.
OJ. Were you finished?
Yes.
when you have gone hunting or fishing. Good morning, Mr. Simpson. You understand you're still under oath?
Yes, sir.
Other than
Has he
talking
changed
to your
clothes?
lawyers, did you do anything to prepare for today's session of the deposition?
No.
Did you review any materials?
No. You mean from yesterday to today?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
I want to see where about the
And
shoes.
the 23rd, tell me again what you did then.
Show me the
No,
shoes.
Nicole and I talked. The 23rd?
Yes, May
I think I
23rd.
had dinner with him. I think I went and had with Sydney and Justin and her
Sydney and Justin were at the house,
on the 23rd. Is that the Monday? Yes.
and you went there and had dinner.
Yeah, I believe so.
Which car did you drive over?
I don't know.
Where did you park?
I don't know.
How'd you get into the property?
I don't recall.
Did you
Hold on.
blow the horn? Did you,
I want.
I don't recall.
You have no idea?
I want the shoes.
Did you brush your teeth before or after you broke the glass?
I don't
Okay, so now he's in
Did you brush your
Chicago.
teeth before or after you picked up the glass?
I don't recall.
What did you do to clean up the bathroom?
Well, I don't know that he ever testified that he cleaned up the bathroom.
What did you do to clean up the broken glass?
Took some toilet paper and some towel, and just I didn't really clean it up. I just tried to scoop it out of my way.
Toilet paper?
I know,
towel.
that's why I want to
believe
find
so,
them.
yes.
What did you do with the toilet paper?
I don't know either. I don't know. Some of it I know I had with me when I went to the lobby.
What did you do with the towel?
Is it
I believe I left it
these?
in the room.
Well, what I'm trying to get to is this. You picked up some toilet paper and you picked up a towel for the purpose of scooping out of the way the glass. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, brushing out of the way the glass.
Okay. Now, is this after you picked up the piece of glass on the floor?
Sometimes, hold on, I'm just looking for
Now the
time
glass is in the
stamps
sink.
in
A
here.
chunk of glass, correct?
I'm pretty
If
sure.
anybody
Other
sees
shards,
anything.
chunks of glass on
No.
the countertop?
All right.
Yes.
And you wanted to get those glasses off the countertop, correct? Now, have you ever seen withdrawn? Do you know whether any of those golf balls that you said you were chipping around the yard were ever retrieved by anybody?
I believe so, yes.
Who retrieved them?
I believe LAPD.
And how do you know that?
Because I have some memory that I read a report that they did.
And have you ever seen those golf balls?
No,
Did LAPD ever bring them into the courtroom, or did anybody else ever bring them into the courtroom?
not that I know of.
Did you ever say to somebody, hey, get those golf balls for me, bring them to court?
For what?
Did you request that to be brought to court?
No discovery.
Do you know whether the golf balls that you read in this report that were retrieved from your property were the ones that you hit on the evening of June 12 as opposed to some prior occasion?
No.
Did you hit Max Fly 100?
Yeah,
on,
but the thing
June
is
12?
she didn't have a romantic relationship with Ron Goldman. Ron Goldman was wrong time, wrong place. He literally was just dropping off glasses that her mom left at the Mezzaluna. It wasn't like they were, it wasn't a romantic thing.
On your property?
One might have been. They might have been. It was just the scuff balls that I hid away.
Yes, someone did witness him. His name is Skip Junis. I believe someone witnessed him, and his name is Skip Junis. He was never called as a witness either.
I was just looking for scuffs more than anything.
When you were going into your golf bag, you said you picked out Max Fly 100s.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the bag of balls in the Bentley.
No.
Balls to hit in the yard.
I grabbed it.
So you have no way then of knowing whether these balls that you read about in the LAPD report are the actual balls. You ever ask anybody to go look for those balls
Why do we care about golf
seized
balls?
by the LAPD?
I think at some,
And every time was with someone else?
well, every time somebody was there. I mean, I have security that is full time now. A few times they were there.
And they saw you do it?
Oh, yeah.
And who was the security? Hey, Mr. Simpson, now that the lawyers have seen this, let me show you Exhibit 22. What is that a picture of?
A golf bag.
Is that the golf bag that you took the Chicago on June 12th?
It appears to be, yes.
And does this contain the clubs that you had recently received from Callaway about a month before?
I really can't tell, but I see one or two of the clubs look like Callaway Big Bertha irons, and that would be the type of irons that I had.
Hey, this was a new set of irons you had gotten?
Yes.
Were the woods new also?
No.
And the putter?
No.
When you took this, it was a Swiss Army golf bag, correct? Was that made by the Forstner Company?
I doubt it.
And having to do
That
with
makes
Forstner?
sense.
What Swiss Army is.
Is that something that is placed on the bag? Or at that location, I should say?
Yes.
What time was that?
That was between.
Can't fix it any closer than that?
Cannot fix it any closer than that.
So anytime between 7 and 9 o'clock is when you put the golf bag into the cover bag.
That's correct.
And when you did that, what did you do with the cover bag that had the golf clubs in it?
Put it on my bench.
Outside the front door?
That's correct.
And it stayed there
Yes, for a while.
for a while
Yeah, we took them off the bench.
to go into the limousine?
No, a little before I went into the limousine.
Okay. But once you closed up that cover bag between 7 and 9 o'clock, you never opened it again, correct?
Incorrect.
Why did you open it?
I wanted to make sure I had my black shoes in there.
Golf shoes?
Yes.
And were they in there?
Yes.
And are those the shoes in the cover bag or the shoes in the golf bag?
Cover bag.
So you opened it one time, looked in the cover bag, saw the shoes, closed it, and then you did not open it again, correct?
No, until when?
Until you got to Chicago?
No, that's not correct.
Until you got into the limousine?
That's correct.
Okay. Focusing up at the time that you left the Rockingham property, you didn't,
Focusing up.
up until the time when you left the Rockingham property in the limousine on June 12, you did not open that cover bag again after you,
Okay, so that's the
No, I
golf
don't think
bag.
so.
and what kind of shoes did you have on?
Some loafers.
Ah, here we go.
Back to Los Angeles that you had worn to Chicago?
No.
Worn different clothes?
Yes.
What did you wear to Chicago on the evening of June 12th?
I believe some jeans, white shirt, and a jean jacket. And I may have had a windbreaker with me. Not a windbreaker, but a wet jacket with me.
And what were the, were these stonewashed jeans?
Yes.
What was the, who was the manufacturer?
I don't know.
Were they Guess jeans?
I don't know.
What kind of jeans you usually wear?
All kinds.
You don't remember?
I
What
do
jeans
remember
they were?
all kinds of jeans I have in my home.
You don't remember what particular
Oh, no,
style
no,
this was?
No, I don't.
Did you have any socks on?
I don't think so.
And what kind of shoes did you have on?
Some loafers,
What color were they?
black or blue.
What kind were they?
What size were they?
I don't know.
What size did you wear in 1994?
I think we've been through the size.
Size shoe?
You asked that yesterday.
No, I never.
I believe it was a size 12. What was it like? What is it? Bruno Magli shoes. Bruno Magli. That's right.
Never asked that.
Them ugly ass shoes that would be a size 12. Bruno Magli Lorenzo model shoes.
You never asked the size shoes yet?
Correct.
No.
Anyway, it's no big deal. We'll let him answer
Let,
later.
let me rephrase or re-ask the question. In June of 1994, what size shoes did you wear?
Depends what shoe I was wearing. Like what, 12s, 11 and a half, some 13s.
Perhaps a
And
12.
What size shoes did you? What type of shoes did you wear in size 12?
Depends on the shoe make and the shoe.
And what size, what type and make of shoes did you own at that time in size 12?
Loafers, I would imagine some loafers were 12s. Some
Carl, this is filled
Tie-ups.
with just useless knowledge.
tennis shoes.
Were most of your shoes that you owned in June of 1994 size 12?
I would say so, yes.
Yep. On a football
And you
field.
also said you had some size 11 and a halves? You have to answer audibly.
Yes.
What shoes did you have of that size in June of 1994?
Probably tennis shoes and maybe one or two pair of
I'm
loafers.
sorry, probably.
Tennis shoes and one or two pair of loafers.
Are these shoes gifts to you? These 11 and a halves?
Not necessarily, no.
Why did you have some 11 and a halves?
Because that's what they were.
You
11
tried
and a
them on and
Yeah.
bought them?
Yeah.
And they fit?
Yeah.
These particular tennis shoes and one or two loafers?
half. Yeah.
Okay. What were the, what was the width of your shoe size?
Get to the Bruno Maglis.
You have no idea?
No.
And for shoes, you give them a width size?
No.
Did you say, give me a size 12?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you also have some size 13s? Is that
Yes.
what you said?
Yes.
Okay. Which shoes in June of 1994 were size 13s?
Some golf shoes.
Come on, just give me the
Nike
shoes.
golf shoes in June of 1994, white,
Could be. Sometimes they're given to me.
in
Not
June of
particularly.
1994.
Not particularly, but I'm sure I like Nike golf shoes, so I'm sure I probably had a pair.
Are all your withdrawn? Were all of your Nike withdrawn? Were all of your golf shoes in June of 1994 size
I have to look at them. Some probably were 12 for
1994?
guess. It would be my best guess.
Well, tell me.
10? No.
10.
15.
15.
Yes.
He didn't ask you that.
I'm sorry.
Where?
10 to 15.
10 to 15.
Yeah.
And where were they maintained or kept in June of 1994?
Some at my home, some at my country club, some at my other country club, some at my other home.
What are your two country clubs?
In L.A. with Mountain Gate, even though I didn't keep nothing at Mountain Gate on the country.
All right, I need to get to these shoes.
Why don't we take 10 minutes?
Okay.
No.
These are country clubs where you remember? Yes.
All right, let's just look.
Funny.
You also wearing a shirt?
OJ deposition, Bruno Magli. Ooh. Because that's really what we want to see, isn't it? There it is right there. There it is right there. Oh, there it is. Okay, so he's in the gray shirt. All right, let me see if I can go back. Well, I'll just watch this. All right. Don't mind a beatboxing. Wait, why is it so fast? Hold on. Oh, and it's on somebody else's TV? I'm so sorry.
Could you describe it? No. Do you remember owning that jacket? No. Remember wearing that jacket? No. And what about the shirt?
Looks like a white shirt.
Looking at the close-up of the shoes, do you believe that those were shoes that you owned at that time?
No.
Those ugly ass shoes I would never own.
Fred Goldman. Dude, Fred Goldman is the best. I love it. I want to go back, though, because I want to see if I could find that one. I don't know if we can, though. Hold on. Let me just see. Let me see if I could do a little shot in the dark here. He's in like a... What is he in? It's like a gray shirt? Okay, so it's none of these with the sweater. It's like one of these. Any of these? Kardashians. You know somebody's gonna get to the shoes. Nobody's time stamping it.
Now, prior to June 12th, 1994, would it be fair to say...
Anyways, I don't know where it is. But I will tell you that I have watched some, because I'm going to have to go soon. I will tell you that I have watched some, that's what she said. Mr. Pike. I will tell you that I watched some. He does lie. He lies about, like, they're like, did you ever strike Nicole? And he's like, no, I've never struck Nicole. Like, we've seen the pictures. I don't know. Honestly, I will tell you guys, like, I don't ever need to break down a 4-part series like this again. I am definitely going to condense it because I myself am tired of talking about OJ. That is for sure. Because it's just, I think the thing for me is it's so glaringly obvious. I guess, what are the theories? That's what I want to go through, right? What are the theories, if not OJ? We know that the biggest one is Jason, right? That's the biggest one. Okay, so Jason Simpson. One of the most popular alternative theories was put forward by a private investigator, William Deere, in his book, OJ is Innocent and I Can Prove It in 2012. The key points are motive. Jason Simpson allegedly had a history of anger issues and violence. I wonder where he got that from. Wow. including previous assaults. Knife expertise. He had training as a chef, making him skilled with knives. Alibi issues. Jason claimed to be working at a restaurant the night of the murders, but some argue that his alibi was weak. Nicole's alleged conflict with Jason. Some reports suggested that Jason had resentment towards Nicole and may have attacked her in rage. A lack of investigation. Police focused entirely on OJ, allegedly never investigated Jason as a suspect. Now, the guy who wrote If I Did It, Here's How I Do It, said that he's having a conversation with OJ, and OJ said that there is another character that was there at the time screaming like, we got to go, or don't do this, or almost trying to stop him. I personally think that OJ did this whole thing. Do I think that somebody else could have been there? Absolutely. Do I think that one of those two individuals could have either been Jason Simpson or AC? Also, absolutely. Absolutely. But the counterpoints to this are there no physical evidence that links Jason to the crime. And here's the other thing. The hat had OJ's, so OJ's blood is at the crime scene and in the Bronco, but not Jason's? Like, I don't know. His name was Charlie. Who was Charlie? A drug-related hit. Another theory suggests that Nicole and Ron were targeted by drug dealers. Faye Resnick, the morally corrupt Faye Resnick. I don't know anything about Faye Resnick except for the fact that I was I have watched today Hulu docuseries. I will watch that though. Also ATF, we will take critiques, but not on people's faces. So let's just like but let's see, docuseries, Hulu docuseries. I will write that down. Nicole Brown. I'll see if I can find that. Oh, friend Charlie. Okay. I see. Stop yawning. I know. I'm so sorry. When I get in this dark room and I'm just like sitting in my chair and also just watching OJ. I'm so sorry. Okay. So Faye Resnick's drug issues. Nicole's close friend, Faye Resnick, was a known cocaine user and allegedly owed drug dealers money. Mistaken target theory. Some suggest that Nicole was murdered as a warning to Faye or due to an unpaid drug debt. Professional killer theory. Some believe that the murder scene was too brutal for a crime of passion, suggesting a professional hit. Although there were no direct drug links to Nicole or Ron, the murder weapon was never found, making it impossible to prove that it was a professional hit. Sorry. Another Colombian cartel hit. Same thing. Oh, and this is where they bring in... because the Colombian cartel, or they were bringing in that the Colombian drug cartel was involved because of the brutal nature of the crime resembled a cartel killing in the way that I believe Nicole was killed. They call a Colombian necktie. And she was also, almost decapitated. I did not watch the movie adaptation. No. Also, brutality, is a mark of crimes of passion. And with the way that this whole thing looked, I absolutely think it was a crime of passion. These are great points. If it was, I don't know anything about Johnny Cochran other than he was in his, what's his name? He was his lawyer. No, I have not watched that. I'm so sorry, guys. Is that the one with OJ, or not OJ, Cuba Gooding Jr.? Yeah, I don't know much about Cochran other than he was OJ's lawyer and an advocate. So they have a serial killer was responsible. Glenn Rogers theory. Convicted serial killer Glenn Rogers allegedly claimed responsibility for the murders, worked in Nicole's neighborhood. Rogers was reportedly in Los Angeles at the time doing construction work, and he boasted about killing Nicole. His brother, Clay Rogers, said Glenn admitted to the crime in a documentary. Counterpoints. Glenn Rogers was known to be a pathological liar. And no DNA evidence links him to the scene. I think that's the biggest thing, right? Like, OJ's blood is at the crime scene, and Nicole and Ron's blood are in the Bronco, and Nicole's blood is at his house. I don't know. I'm afraid to go to Reddit, but I got about 5 minutes left. And I think let's go to OJ Theory Reddit. You guys want to travel? Put on your seatbelts, bitch. Let's see. Okay, so here's about OJ, about Jason. Drug relation, serial killer. Oh. Okay, never mind. This is not what I thought it was going to be. Yeah, David Schwimmer. Yes. Oh, the book he wrote himself entitled If I Did It, but Nicole's family got the... No, the Goldmans got the rights to it. And they put the if in tiny little writing, and it from far away, it just says, like, I did it. Oh, my God. Yeah, they think everybody was out to frame OJ. Right. There's no one that says OJ or that Nicole had any sort of like lifestyle that would what am I trying to say? Like, she never did drugs, she never got herself into any trouble, anything like that. I could see the Browns being against it, but I could also see being the Goldmans too. Like, you think you're gonna, you could do all the work. I'm gonna profit off of this. I mean, they were supposed to be awarded $33.5 million. And even OJ said to Mike Gilbert, he's like, I'm not paying this, allegedly. Right. Neither of them. And Ron was actually like a super healthy guy. He went to the gym all the time. Like, I think he did karate. His sister is like, Ron never did drugs. So I don't know. I don't know how you can look at this case and not think that OJ did it. I really don't. My alarm is going to go off in a second because I have to go be a mother. But anyways, you know what? Maybe I'll start putting up polls for what you guys want to do during live streams, because I don't ever want to burn anybody out on like the media we're consuming. So, you know, if it's getting too much OJ or if it's getting too much whatever, just let me know so we can fix it. I can fix it. You know, I like to put up my videos on Wednesday, and then I put up my live streams and we just talk about sort of the video the next day. Gotta run, but please go see that interview. It's so crazy. You know what? Maybe we could watch it next week. All he said to exonerate himself was alleged. Oh my God. The Goldmans were told throughout the case that their son didn't matter. Yeah, I agree with that. And let's get this straight. Nicole said her family would side with OJ because her dad had a Hertz dealership because of OJ. And most of the rest of the family was on the payroll. Interesting. All right. So, yeah, maybe we'll do that then. We'll watch the interview next week, unless you guys decide that you want to watch something else. Other than that, you guys are the best. Thank you for hanging out with me. I have to go be a parent. Love you guys. Bye.